Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Vani Builds podcast. I am Jim Vani, and I want to welcome a very special guest here, Doron Levi, a multifamily developer, a man of many talents. Him and I know each other from the Owners Club. If you're not familiar with the Owners Club, it's an exclusive group of high-level people that are all coming from the Sub-2 community, who all joined at the last Sub-2 summit. So with that, I want to first welcome Doron. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you for having me, Jim. Pleasure to be here.
Doron, I'm impressed with what you're doing. I know some about you. I don't know a lot about you yet. So I really wanted to learn more about what you're doing and where you're headed. And hopefully we could, share more about you here on my platform and help you grow further and help others grow a lot as well, because you have so much value to give. What would you consider yourself to be? I mean, I know you do developing. I know you have a background that has shown that you are a man of tenacity and grit, and you know how to grow things to create great wealth. I wouldn't even know what your title is.
I don't know. Let's do the popular one, entrepreneur.
I love it.
I'm more like a serial entrepreneur, right? Because I've been entrepreneuring for, I don't know, 24 years about. So I think that's the big umbrella I can go under.
That's incredible. 24 years. Did you always have a background in business and as an entrepreneur? Like, were you always that guy?
I guess so. I started in business, right? Like I built and sold service companies, 7-figure companies, and I basically at some point said, I don't want to do this anymore. It was a personal thing that happened in my life that kind of shifted me from wanting to do what I did, and I had to reinvent myself. So I just, kind of looked at my resources. I looked at the knowledge I obtained from my career, and I said, what can I do the most with my resources, right? The knowledge and the funds, the things that I had in my disposal. So I didn't look at what's the most money I can make, like what's my ROI. I looked at it more like, what's my ROT? What's the best return on time? Like, what's the most impact I can make as quick as possible? Not because I'm in a hurry, it's because I just felt that where I was in life, I need to make bigger things, and I'm capable of. So in a way, I kind of, believed that's my path.
Making bigger things, ROT. That's not something I hear of. I don't think I've ever heard of ROT, return on time. I love that.
That's a Doron exclusive.
All right, well, everybody, it all started here. So give Doron credit for that one. I love it. Return on time. So you're looking at your time. What's your best return? How you can grow something big, right? Not just do the next thing, but where you can really shine and utilize your talents. I know you like to really put yourself up for challenges. It seems like where it's not hard to do it, I guess you could say, but you make it look easy, in my view. But you're doing some big things. Like, tell me about a project, if you don't mind. Like, maybe what's one of your more recent projects you're working on?
Well, my core is multifamily ground up developer. So I do, multifamily developments. I build them, and I don't disposition. I don't sell them. I keep them. So I kind of build on my portfolio. I have a property management company that runs the stuff that I build. And in the recent few years, I pivoted a little bit towards acquisition, buying more than building, because the cycle of what I do is pretty extensive. It's about, 2-3 years every project, and so at some point when COVID hit, I had to kind of say, I had more time on my hands than I'm used to. So it made me kind of rethink, re-strategize. I think it was a blessing in disguise. I had a project that I inquired during COVID, which you said, tell me about something you worked recently, was the hotel resort that you know of down in Philadelphia. COVID came and wiped, half of the people over there, and then the other half got pulled out by their kids because they didn't want them to end up like the first half. So, they got distressed a little bit financially, and we ended up not even getting it in the beginning because we went under contract with someone else. They declined our offer. So we circled back to it and ended up getting it. And initially went for a conversion of a multifamily, which is what I do. Turned out to, the opportunity presented itself to do a hotel out of it. So pivoted about, I would say, maybe a year into it, and made a hotel resort, and, end up being a really nice play. It was featured in the New York Times Magazine as a must-see,
Wow.
which I take a lot of pride in. I mean, little old me. I mean, there's giants in the sector, the Sheratons, the Holiday, there's so many, the Hiltons, and little old me, in the New York Times Magazine, I think is mind-boggling in my opinion.
Incredible.
But yeah, it came out good.
That's incredible. I mean, amazing. Props to you, man. Really impressive job. I mean, you've shined brighter than the big, huge players out there, and you're showing your potential of what you could do, and you've probably barely tapping the surface. It seems like, because you're driving more for bigger, better things. Are you looking at doing larger projects or more of the same, or like, what's the next ambitious goal for you?
Well, first of all, it's not only me. I have a team of amazing people surrounding me. Anybody thinks that they can tackle big stuff by themselves, are either lying to the people or lying to themselves. And, I don't believe necessarily, you said bigger things. I don't necessarily believe that bigger is better. Just like I don't believe that anything that shines is gold. Like a lot of people are like, they have, and I know that shiny object syndrome, right? Like they see RV parks. Wow, that looks like great cash flow model, right? Or ooh, co-living. Oh, that looks like a really good, government's paying like Section 8. Oh, so let me jump now from RV to that. So, my philosophy is find something that you can really get passionate about, where it doesn't feel like work to you, where you actually enjoy doing, and just triple down on it. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Maybe it's one of the reasons for me to be able to execute very well on things, because I truly am submerged in it. I'm highly committed, and I don't necessarily look for the bigger play. I look for things that can tick me, that can, make me really get excited to do. The one I did now, I was a part of, is a boutique hotel. It's not like, 300 units. It's a good size one, right? It's 60 key, but it's very unique. The evaluation on it, we thought it's going to be about, $18 million. It got over $30 million valuation. So,
Wow. Wow.
it's just about really triple downing on things that you can get excited about, and making a unique product in a market share. And I've do the same thing in my apartment buildings. I create a superior product because I believe that people deserve the nice things, the better things. And in my multifamily, even getting it at a great value, at a better price point of my competition. So where my competition is struggling is 70%, 80% occupancy, I'm always 100% occupied. And I got people renewing with me year after year. So I got people 3-4 years with me, because I give them a really nice product at a very competitive price point, and obviously a good property management service as well to come with it. But it's just giving people, a right product for good price point with good service. I think that's kind of where, I shine.
It's amazing. I mean, that evaluation is tremendous. I mean, that's wow. You put so much passion into this, and the value shows. So you had an evaluation done, and then when it all was finished, it blew your projections out of the water. It sounds like just way more than you expected.
So there's more truth to that statement, because the evaluation, when it's done, it's not even stabilized yet, meaning that once you actually go through operations, you're able to see how the pro forma really pans out. So if you have, a restaurant pro forma on a weekend and I'm just making rough numbers up, but they're not too far away from reality. The restaurant's supposed to make between $8,000 and $11,000 on a weekend. And we're at the $18,000 mark on a slow season. Then our evaluation after first year of actually having operational books will even exceed what originally our evaluation was when we just got completed. Because
Right.
you're just evaluating brick and mortar, right? You're not evaluating the business aspect of it. So by being able to vamp up all the commercial components of it, the valuation also increases because the valuation of the commercial property is derived off of the revenue spits of the performance. So that's the full answer to this type of a discussion where we exceeded our projections on many fronts, right? Like if we would have just finished and sold it, we would exit on it much, much more than we thought we would. But that's only half of it. The other half is also the way it's performing now exceeded anyone's expectations, including the banks, you know?
How did you achieve something like that? I mean, what was the reason why you were able to hit those big numbers? I mean, I know the calculations of it, like you have the revenues, you have these things happening, but how did you, because you do the calculations, you're projecting certain revenues to get the value. So the revenues are even more. Why is that? How did you do that?
Well, you have to understand that you need to surround yourself with the right people. The right people are not just the ones that have the knowledge. It's also the one that has the right attitude, the right mindset. There's a lot of people that are really high performance to say there's no such thing as talent. There's no such thing as talent. And it's because anything could be learned. Like if you want to go and be a chef tomorrow, Jim, you can go to culinary school. You can learn how to become a chef. Would that make you a 2 Michelin star chef? Probably not. But if you will keep practice at it, you're going to put your time in it, and you really will be tunnel vision about getting those Michelin stars. Eventually, you're going to get it. So it's that mindset of actually working and working at it and crafting it and working at it and crafting it and then working on it some more and then crafting it even more. And it's the level of commitment that, make champions champions. I mean, I don't consider myself a champion of anything. I'm just saying at the end of the day, to answer your question, what separates these type of successes from most people that are not able to achieve them? It's just that. Because you can
Yeah,
learn anything, but certain characteristics, certain, virtues in your characters, either you have them or you don't have them. Like my character, I was on a podcast before and someone asked me, how do you get to the things that you get? Very similar answer, just in a different angle, in a different context. I told him because I just go for what I want and I go full force. If there's a brick wall in front of me, I'll go around it. If I can't go around it, I'll go through it. It's just a mindset thing.
mindset.
It's a mindset thing. It's a mindset. It's the grit. It's how bad you want it. It's how much you want to sacrifice for it. How many things you're willing to postpone until you get what you get. Delaying gratification. It's not easy. It's not easy. And the saying, if it would be that easy, everyone would do it.
Very true. The
That
sacrifice piece, I mean,
is.
that's interesting. You said sacrifice. That's something I think that a lot of us struggle with is having to sacrifice on things. It's easy to say it. You've obviously done it, right? You did sacrifice to get where you're at. And I know there's times, hey, I wake up in the morning and, I got to sacrifice that extra hour of sleep. I don't always want to do that. I got to sacrifice maybe time with my family on occasion, or I got to sacrifice a different opportunity or going to a different event. I mean, what kind of sacrifices come to your mind, like for things that you're doing? Is it a regular daily thing you're sacrificing? Is it, what kind of sacrifices do you see that you've had to make or you have to make on an ongoing basis?
I love it. I love it. I'm going to give you and your listeners a really treat now, a really good treat, a very good answer for that. I take really, really cold showers in the morning, right? Like it's especially hard in a winter because the temperature of the water in a winter is maybe about, low 20s,
Wow.
cold water,
Wow. That's
right?
cool.
It's
Yes.
very cold. And you're living a really hot bed. And sometimes, I hope my wife's not listening, she's stealing my blanket and I'm waking up cold because I was cold
You're
all
already
night,
cold.
right? And then I got to step into a shower that is about 20 some degrees. The last thing on the planet I want to do is to be cold walking into a 20 some degree water cold shower, right?
Sure.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I want to pick up that temperature and get like a really nice steamy shower, right? Not
Yeah,
the opposite.
right, right.
But guess what? I do it anyway, right?
You get in there, you do
I
it.
get in there, and I don't get in there 2 seconds just to say I did it and I jump out, you know? No, I stay in there for 2 minutes and I can't breathe, and it's completely unpleasant, and it's the complete opposite from happiness. It's misery, man. It really is misery. And I'm shivering like it's nobody's business. And why am I
I
telling you
love
all
it.
this? You asked me a completely different answer, but I'll tell you why. If you can train yourself to do things that you really don't want to do, despite the fact you really don't want to do them, that's where change is going to happen.
I love that. That's so powerful. So embrace the suck, like David Goggins would say, embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck, love it, and ask for more. Because the first 30 seconds, you can't breathe. But I'm staying for more.
20-something degrees. Just
Yeah.
getting in that thing.
Getting in that
No
thing.
excuses. Just
And I lose the morning hug every morning with my wife because I'm freezing and she doesn't want to touch me. Like I'm a hugger. I want to hug her in the morning. It's a sacrifice for me.
man, that's
But at the
wild.
end of the day, people settle into the comfortable, right? Because it's easy. And people shy away from the difficult things because they want to stay in bed another hour, and they want to, go back early home. They want to go, they want to, hang out on the weekend and watch a football game, which is okay. I don't watch football. I don't watch any sports. And, a lot of people that I know that are successful don't do that. That's not to say, sports is bad. It's just that I make the Sunday sacrifice. I make the Saturday sacrifice. I make a lot of sacrifices. And sometimes I work 7 days a week, and sometimes I work 16-hour, 18-hour days, and I make the sacrifices. Like in my travel, I traveled to a project. I left my house at 3:45 a.m. to be in the airport, to land to be in North Carolina at 7 a.m. And I drove 2.5 hours over there. And then I blew through the stuff and I drove two plus hours back. And I got back home, got in bed around 11 p.m. And that was after an hour and a half of sleep in me.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Exactly.
So many brick walls that you did not let stop you.
Fatigue, I have a family from Israel staying in my house. I have projects that are opening, that are open and they need my attention. I have so much, but I know what I need to do and I'm doing it. And I don't care about nothing else. It just doesn't exist.
It sounds like you're doing the things that other people don't do to get the things that other people don't have.
Yeah, in a way. At the end of the day, what your listeners needs to understand, there's nothing really standing in their way. The only thing in their way is them.
Mindset, right? You said mindset.
Yeah, it's mindset, but it's also, they're their biggest enemy.
So those who stand in their own way, that's the problem. It's they're not getting out of their own way, laser focusing. I mean, you have to be so laser focused for what you're doing. I mean, you're in the zone.
You have to do the sacrifices that other people are not willing. You want what other people, you want what most people don't have, then do what most people are not willing to do.
I love it.
It's literally that.
I love it so much. I want to transition into something. I mean, now that I'm all pumped up, I want to understand one thing for all the people that are going to listen to this. I know that there's one big thing that I've been thinking about asking you about those who I talk to almost all the time. I'm at a meetup, I'm at an event. It's how do people make the transition into multifamily? And you said the word team earlier, right? That nothing you do is possible without your amazing team. I'm curious of that team because I imagine that you selected those people very strategically for a reason. Maybe there was their qualities, their traits, and what those roles could be. So there's a lot of things to unpack there. But the main thing is, first off, is it the team that comes first and then you get into multifamily? You just start doing multifamily? How does somebody say, hey, I'm doing single family. Let's look at multifamily.
Okay. So it all starts surprise with you. If you're a leader, you'll draw the right people, right? A wise man once said, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Because if you're lazy and I'm the complete opposite, you don't want to work for me because I'm going to hold you accountable and your behavior will not be acceptable with me. And I'm obviously not thinking you're lazy. I'm just driving a point home, right? So I was fortunate enough to be noticed by people and people really want to work with me for who I am, right? And in a way, the right people want to get challenged. They just don't know what to do, right? So they want someone to challenge them. If he holds a flashlight that can show them the way on where to go, and they're willing, again, not lazy, to do the work, and sometimes even make the sacrifices. My team don't make a lot of sacrifices because I know the things that you are not supposed to do as, an owner, that some people that are owners don't understand. Like, I used to have a partner that thought, I'm the boss, so everyone's going to do what I'm telling them. And if only anything in life would be that simple, right? Like, that's not how it works. Right? Like, you have to, ask, not demand things from people. I can't hold people to be me, right? Because there's a reason, why I do the things I do. But at the end of the day, you have to not just pick the right people, but also be the right leader for people to follow you. And you have to stay at it. It's work. It's just like a relationship. I'm with my wife for 20 years. And if you think for a minute that I can be the only one that is always happy and it doesn't matter if she's happy or not, that's not going to work. It's not going to stick.
Right.
So, it's a constant work. It's constant work. Being a leader is constant work. It's a lot of knowing how to work it, but also be a leader that people want to continue to follow. If it's, the little things, do what you say what you do, be transparent, be honest, do to people the way you would like other people to do to you. Just the small things make, just like a puzzle, right? The small pieces, they make the big picture.
That's powerful. That's so powerful. I mean, a man of morals and values and the strong leadership that you have, that you exude from you, and you work on it. So you're saying, like, you as a leader, you are constantly working on being a better leader and staying on track. Maybe do you ever get off track and then you have to refocus and get back on track?
Look, nobody living on this planet is perfect, right? And I'll make mistakes just like you or anybody else. What matters is that you're going to learn from your mistakes and you don't repeat them, because, only dummies make the same mistakes and repeat them. So get the lesson, move on, and just be grateful that people put their faith in you to lead them. Don't take it for granted. Nothing in life is to be taken for granted. My opinion, right? You don't have to agree with me, and other people listening here might not, and that's okay. That's how I see my life. I don't take anything for granted.
Yes.
And if people put their faith in me and their trust in me and in, leading them and giving them an opportunity for a better life, I take it very seriously. And I take it I'm very committed to it, and I want to serve that well. And people recognize it. People recognize the authenticity. With that in mind, I don't just, pretend to be someone that I'm not.
Right. You are who you are, and it shows.
Yeah, like it or leave it, Yeah. 100%.
It's really powerful stuff. I know people are going to love hearing this and get so much value from this. We only have about 10 minutes left. I wanted to understand the roles that if you're going to develop something like you're developing, I've seen you post before, you're doing ground up construction of multifamily, and it's not 2 units, right? I mean, they're decent sized projects. Who do you need for that project to be successful?
Well, I need I need many things, right? I mean, think about it as we need many parts, and those parts also need to fit well, and they need to work together well, right? So sorry for not giving you I keep not giving you simple answers, but I always say
I love your answers. They're great.
there's no simple answer to a complicated question. I mean, multifamily is not,
Not easy, not simple.
it's not linear, it's not straightforward, but in a developer, you need to understand the entitlement process. You need to understand the zoning ordinance. You need to understand how to compute not just your cost, not just the budget, but even on a higher scale or higher level, the project doesn't make sense, right? Because I always joke around and I say, if it makes money, it makes sense. But the opposite's also true, right? If it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense, right? Like I see a lot of developers, they pick up stuff just for the sake of doing them. And in a lot of markets, they find themselves in trouble, either between, rising cost of labor, rising cost of material, or even saturation. Philadelphia market alone has about 34,000 units in the multifamily. Just in 2024, they came out to market. So people are losing the shirt on their backs because they didn't do proper due diligence, realizing that the market's really, really saturated, and where we used to not even give any concessions, now people are giving 3-4 month concessions just to rent places, and they're at 50% occupancy. Right? Put most of your work, I don't know if most is the right word, but put a lot of work on the due diligence period. Don't take it lightly. Don't blow through it. Take it as if the project's vitality depends on it, because it does.
And would you hire someone for that, like do a feasibility study, or would you hire or partner up with anybody local in that market? How do you do proper due diligence on such a large project?
Yeah, I mean, you got to know what you're doing. That's a given, like anything else, right? If you don't know how to drive, you're not going to stand, you'd be behind a wheel. So yeah, you have to know the parts of what it is you're trying to piece together, again, like a puzzle, to get to the picture you want to get to. And if you're blind, you can't put pieces together, right? If you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, you need to know all the professionals, between the engineers needed, between the zoning professionals that are needed, the entire process. If you're doing a zoning variance, which is changing the designation of the land usage, for example, you need to know how to do that. Otherwise, how can you manage something you don't understand? How can you measure it to know if it makes even financial sense, right? So there's, on a high level, that aspect of things, but it's really not shooting from the hip, and put thought process in place, and when you execute, be intentional. Don't just execute for the heck of execution, for getting things done, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not successful and you're falling on your face, then what's the point? You'd rather not do anything, right, than just do things for the sake of getting things done. And even worse, in my opinion, is when you have other people's money in it, and you're losing their money, right? Because at the end of the day, I say no a lot to people that want to bring money to projects, because or other way around, like I have people bringing me projects, and I feel, okay, now I cannot serve this project well, so I don't take it. And I have people bringing me money, and I'm like, I don't have where to put it now. Okay, I don't believe I can serve it right. So it's also knowing how to say no.
Yes.
Versus just saying yes all the time because it sounds good. And well, yeah, who wouldn't want another project, and who wouldn't want more money? I literally said that to a project manager of mine a couple weeks ago, when he's like, "You're passing on this opportunity? That's a great project." I'm like, "Yeah, well, sometimes the best projects are the one you're walking away from."
Amen to that.
Because I can't serve it right now. I can't serve it well right now. Maybe a year from now, maybe 6 years from now, maybe. But just, you're looking for value, and I'm looking to give it to you. So these are valuable things that people are just not talking about. They're talking about how to underwrite. They talk about, this, that, and the other thing, the technical stuff. But like the secret sauce, right? Like the real, how the rubber met the pavement. This is it.
It's very powerful stuff there. I can see why you are successful with what you're doing. And I would like to spend the last couple minutes here figuring out what would bring you value. And are you looking to partner up on deals? I know there's plenty coming your way already, but maybe there's something that would fit better and that could change tomorrow, right? Or change next month. I'd love to share with the audience that. Is there anything that you're looking for more of? Are you open to different deals right now?
Yeah, I'm always looking to buy in landlord-friendly estates, multifamily. Always, always, open to that. I'm kind of scaling back on the development because I feel that I have too many pots on the stove now with the development, and I don't want to stretch myself too thin, and I don't want to lose the quality and not just the quality of all of them, but the consistency also throughout all the parts of each development. So I'm kind of scaling back, and as things mature, I'm going to reconsider. So I don't do as many new developments now, but I do more acquisitions of multifamily if there's value add plays, and also hospitality. So I wouldn't build now a resort like the one we just completed. It was a 3-year build, just to give you that understanding, right?
Yeah, that's long.
And it was, it was over $9 million just construction work, right? So
Huge
they're
project.
very, very big plays, and it takes time for them to go full cycle. So until I go full cycle with, the stuff I got now, I'm not looking to do more of them. But what I can do is I can take a project and do, just like multifamily, I can do a value add on a hotel. I can put a little bit of my ingredients and just make it so much better, run it more efficient, put a big impact on the evaluation of it, on the value of it, by maybe adding some things, maybe taking some things out of it. I have the experience, knowledge, and track record of successfully doing so. So I feel I want to expand on that more as well.
That's huge. So people that could bring opportunities to you, how could they bring them in that area of the multifamily deals, of the value add to hotels? How can they reach you? How can they get a hold of you and send some stuff over to you?
Yeah, so my IG is Doron Levi, my name, REI, which stands for Real Estate Investment. That's my IG handle, and they can just, DM me. Any value add that I can do on an acquisition of either multifamily or a hospitality asset, I will definitely want to expand on that in the upcoming few years.
Landlord-friendly estates, multifamily, hospitality, value add, any minimum unit count or anything too small, too big?
Well, my sweet spot is usually between 50 and 200 doors. That's kind of my sweet spot. I don't believe that bigger is better.
Okay.
That's kind of the things that I enjoy doing. I feel that I can make the most impact.
Incredible.
On that range.
Huge. Thank you so much, Doren. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I just hope that people got value. I know I tried to give as much as I can in that, short window of time that we had, and just for people to know that everything is possible. There's nothing that is not possible. Jim Quick really talked about it in his book, and I'm like, yes. I was screaming in my car by myself like a lunatic. I'm like, yes. He's like, someone broke I think it was 100-meter world record, and for years they couldn't go below the 4-minute. And he's like, nobody believed it's possible. And then the first one did it by a shaved like a half a second, and then everyone started breaking the records down more, lower and lower and lower, because that one person came and showed that it's possible. All the people came and kept breaking each other's records, and it comes to prove that everything is possible. And when people think they can't reach something, it's because they have a glass ceiling. It's not because that you can't go beyond that. It's just they don't see past that. So everything is really possible. They just, I guess, have to want it bad enough and willing to do the sacrifice and get out of their comfort zone, because growth happens outside of their comfort zone. I know everyone's saying it, and it's becoming tacky, but it's just the truth. Challenge yourself, attack life. Life is worth living. A lot of people are just cruising life. I mean, cruising is cool, but who want to cruise life? Like, really? Do you want to cruise the road, the highway, or do you want to accelerate and do you want to take turns and you want to, pass cars and get to your destination a little bit faster? You get excited about life, like live life to the fullest. There's so much to live. There's so much out there. There's so much abundance. Just go get it.
Yes, Doran, man, what a powerful way to lead by example that anything's possible. Get the right mindset. Enjoy this suck, embrace it. I gotta hop in a cold shower tomorrow now. I'm gonna text you after that one. Doran,
Build it up. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Build it up.
yes, Doran, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure I post your IG for everybody to send you deals. Look forward to next time we can connect. Thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.